Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Made Futures Live. Every Tuesday leading up to the Made Futures exhibition in March, we're going to be holding live interviews like this one with members of Made in Yorkshire and Made in the Midlands, just to talk about their inspirational stories in the Made Futures book, which is just a magazine we've got coming out filled with stories from members. And today we've got Kieran Dinsdale with us. He's currently in a factory supervisor role at Greyhound Box, who are a leading manufacturer based in Leeds, specialising in the design and manufacturing of corrugated boxes. So thanks for joining today, Kieran. How are you doing? You okay?
I'm all right, thank you. Are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Me and Kieran off air have just been speaking a bit about Leeds, doing quite well at the minute. But obviously, can't get into stadiums, can you? So, yeah, good and a bad thing, I guess, at the minute. But yeah, we wanted to speak to Kieran because basically back in 2014, I think it was, after completing sixth form college, Kieran decided he wanted to start his career at an apprentice level. And after searching through apprentice agencies, he applied and joined the team at Greyhound Box in Leeds as an apprentice CAD designer. And then over the last 6 and a bit years, Kieran's skill set's just gone from strength to strength for a variety of experiences. And we're just going to be finding out a bit more about them today and sort of journey he's been on to get to this point as an apprentice with Greyhound Box. So thanks again for joining us, Kieran. Firstly, just going back to the start, can you tell us about how you were first introduced to the idea of an apprenticeship following on from studying at your sixth form college?
Yeah, we had a lesson at college about what we would like to do after we'd finished, and we could either go to uni, straight into work, but the tutor also mentioned apprenticeships and where we could apply for them. So I thought, I didn't want to go to uni, so I decided to look into the apprenticeships and stumbled across Greyhound Box advertising for a CAD designer. So I applied for that, and thankfully I got it.
Nice one, yeah. And what was there anything that stood out when you were sort of looking through, and what was it about Greyhound, or was it like CAD, or was it
It was more to do with the CAD because from a like I've always wanted to go down the route of architecture,
okay?
but didn't want to study at uni.
Yeah,
So I kind of thought, well, I'll look into something similar that uses design work, and I came across this, and I thought, yeah, I'll apply for it, get the training, and see where I go from there.
yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting you say about sort of looking at architecture and things like that, and then sort of finding a way that suited you better to get into that sort of,
Yes, looking at alternatives, and
yeah.
yeah.
Nice one. And do you feel like that's something like, because I wouldn't have necessarily put them two and two together, but do you feel like a lot of the appealing things about architecture you saw in doing CAD design?
Yeah, I think to me it was all about like the way I say architecture is like you're designing, buildings or houses or anything like that. So I thought that's what I was looking down the design route.
Yeah.
So I didn't.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then in 2015, you were successfully awarded with, got a lot of big qualification lists.
Yeah, there's a lot there. Yeah.
EAL Level 2 in Industrial Environment Awareness, EAL Level 2 in Employment Rights and Responsibilities for New Entrants into the Science, Engineering and Manufacturing Industries, a Pearson EDI Level 2 NVQ Diploma in Performing Manufacturing Operations, along with an intermediate level apprenticeship in improving operational performance. So there's a lot there. But talk us through just a little bit, sort of your experience with that. Would all those qualifications, they all come sort of at once at the end, or was it sort of you get one of each as you were going along, sort of thing?
No, they all came at the end of. I think it was it had been about a year's work. So yeah.
Okay. How was your experience of that apprenticeship? Did it sort of meet your expectations of what you thought it might be when you signed up to it?
Yeah, it was good. It was more to do with working in the packaging industry and what you were expected to do within that industry. There wasn't much on design work, as
Okay,
you can see from the qualifications, but I learned design work on the side of it.
right, okay.
Yeah.
And what was the? Did you get much sort of like hands-on experience with it, or how did it compare hands-on to learning theory and things like that? What was the breakdown? Would you say roughly?
I think hands-on wise, you were down in the production area, kind of like doing the jobs that were. It's hard, yeah. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was obviously a lot of paperwork involved in doing the apprenticeship. But
Okay. Have you got any highlight moments just from that year? Like anything that stood out from it at all?
not really. No.
Getting
Lots of
getting the
studying.
qualification. I bet it felt good,
Yeah.
though, didn't it? Once you'd got the award and everything.
Once all the work was done, it was a relief. And
Yeah, yeah, cool.
yeah,
And then, so you finished that, got the qualification and everything,
yeah,
and then you went straight into a role at sort of a continuation of what you've been learning with a role at Greyhound Box.
yeah. So obviously, as continued doing the CAD design, doing samples for the company. So the manufacturer of, let's say, a telly or whatever, they would send in the telly and say, "Oh, can you design a box for this?" And I'd design all the packaging, any inserts that needed making as well. So
Oh
I could,
wow.
instead of using polystyrene, we try to use like a cardboard,
Hmm.
corrugated cardboard instead,
Yeah.
to help on the environment and stuff like that. So that was what I had to do. Um, and then,
Quite rewarding, wasn't it? Seeing like that from start to finish. You said you designed it all yourself and everything, and getting.
oh yeah, it's great. Once they're running out on the shop floor, yeah, brings back memories of designing it. I was like,
Mm.
yeah, I designed that, and gets made out as a
Yeah.
finished product.
And was that quite early on? As soon as you started the role after your apprenticeship, you were doing that sort of thing.
Yeah, that was straight away. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Oh yeah, that's great. I mean, so you get that experience straight away, and you get to see the project from start to finish like that. Bet it makes you quite like excited about the job, doesn't it? When you get to see something like that. And yeah, is there any other sort of major projects or anything like that you've been involved in just at your overall time at the Greyhound Box, which you're quite proud of?
yeah, yeah. Mostly exhibitions at Made in Yorkshire and
Hmm.
other things like that. I designed helped out design all the exhibition stands,
Okay.
and then made them on the CAD machine.
Yeah.
So that was a lengthy process of doing that.
Yeah. I bet.
All the little bits and pieces.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet it was.
Yeah. So
So,
that was good because I could put my creative mind to it, and
mm. Yeah, I was going to say that's quite a creative project, isn't it? So, were you just given
yeah,
the brief of make us something for the standard made in Yorkshire, which just attracts people, and given dimensions, and then the rest of it was up to you, sort of thing?
yeah, that was pretty much it. Guys in office that were doing the exhibition, they'd say, right, this is the theme that we're going with. This is what suggestions we have. If there's anything that you want to add into it, then do so, and basically give it to me to kind of design and create.
Yeah, it's got a creative license. It's like I guess it brings in a bit of like marketing, advertising and stuff as well to the role, doesn't it?
Yeah,
For you.
yeah.
So like a lot of different skills you're looking at there. And then, um, so how long ago was it that you've been promoted to factory supervisor?
Not long at all.
Not long ago.
No, a couple of months.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so in that sort of role, so is it right in saying you're shadowing production manager, and sort of developing your skills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So at the moment, I'm training a new operator to take on my role as
Okay.
the TCY operator. Um, and then I've taken on extra tasks such as checking samples for numerous machines, uh, managing team, and locking up as well, given that
Wow.
responsibility at the end of the day. So
You've been handed the keys.
I've been handed the keys yet.
Brilliant. Yeah, I guess there's like a lot of different skills you've said about there. So you're teaching someone else your role, or your previous role, as well, so they can sort of make that step up, and then your place is taken, right? So then you step into the new factory
Yeah.
supervisor role. Um, how are you finding, like, sort of you're passing the torch on of CAD to someone
Uh,
else?
Fine. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's not as much. I'll tell you, CAD. I did CAD design for a year, I think,
Okay.
and we didn't get that many samples through, so it kind of faded, and they needed a new operator on another machine, a printer sorter. So this is where I developed and my career,
Mm.
and I basically said they approached me and said, "Oh, would you like to learn a new machine?" And I said, "Why not? Let's do it."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've been TCUI operator for about 3 years now, and then
Okay.
been promoted to supervisor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's quite a lot. I guess you have been there 6 years, but that's still
six,
really good
seven
to have
years.
had.
Yeah,
To have had sort of two promotions like that, basically.
yeah.
Um, and how did the most recent one come about? So, to factory supervisor, is that something you applied for, or did they say to you, "We feel like you might want to step up"?
No, they approached me, and because the previous supervisor left, so they asked me, "Oh, would you like to fill in the shoes?" Basically,
Yeah,
and so I said, "Yeah."
nice. And is it a lot of on-the-job training? Like you said, you're shadowing a production manager. Is that mostly what you've been learning? Just sort of seeing how it's done by someone else?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
basically going out there and just seeing what he's doing, and he'll help me along the way.
You there? Yeah.
Yeah.
And how have you found the step up? Are you has it been okay? Has it been comfortable, or do you feel like you're learning a lot and you've got to really sort of pay attention, or how are you finding it?
It's been comfortable so far
Yeah.
because I've still got to teach the new operator uh, my own machine, so it's a lot of time doing that at the moment. But I'm
Hmm.
slowly working my way into supervisor role.
Yeah. Brilliant. And like just over this conversation, we spoke about so many different skills, new, different creativity, supervising, teaching others. There's a lot of different like developing skills you've had since your 6 years of Greyhounds. Have you got sort of a highlight? If you could pick maybe a top three, just any highlights of skills that you feel like have you've really developed since beginning at Greyhound.
Yeah, I think the multiple job roles really is the main one. Is learning multiple machines. I've been
Mm.
able to learn a lot of the machines that are out there on the shop floor through other people. Um, but obviously, the main one's CAD machine, which I know and can teach other people. TCY, which I can teach others as well. Uh, and now I've got supervisor under my belt as well, or will have. Uh, yeah, that's the multiple skills.
Yeah, yeah, brilliant. Um, yeah, that's like really positive. You're learning like practical skills, like different machines and things like that, but then also more like abstract ones like creativity and things like that as well. Like, a good combination. And yeah, I guess the final big question I wanted to ask is: have you got any advice you'd want to give to someone who's considering a career in the same industry as yourself, or in the packaging industry, sort of the CAD sort of world? Have you got any advice you might give to someone?
Yeah, I think go into it with an open mind. Don't just think that all you'll be doing is making boxes or whatever it is for the rest of your life. Kind of take it step by step, and most of all, work hard and be patient, because it's taken me 6 or 7 years to get to where I am now. But along the way, I've developed many skills and got loads of qualifications that can help me progress, or even go into another company in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'll be surprised at what you can do, and yeah, I think just go for it. If you get the opportunity, go for it.
Yeah, that's really sound advice.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sure someone will get a lot from that, and it's definitely, I think it's really interesting. Like overall, something I feel like a lot of people take away from it is what we went through at the very start, which was you saying you were looking at, thought you wanted to do something in architecture, and you saw an opportunity to put similar skill set, creativity, sort of critical thinking, different things like that, and you saw that in a different role, which suited you better, because like you didn't want to go to university. Not everyone wants to.
No.
You found that with CADs and with the packaging industry, and that's obviously great advice for someone looking at architecture. But then it's also great advice for someone who's looking at a different industry and they're thinking, I really want to do this job role. I don't want to go down a traditional route of university, or on the flip side, I don't want to do an apprenticeship, but I want this role. Is there any other alternatives in different sectors that I can get the same positives from and the same skill set from, and things like that? So yeah, thank you for joining us today, Kieran. It was really good to speak with you.
No problem. Yeah.
Everyone else, thanks for joining. In the May Futures book, remember to watch out for Kieran's story, which is going to be an article published in March as part of that book, titled An Apprentice Journey, shining light on opportunities in the packaging industry. And otherwise, look forward to seeing you next week, as we'll be back for Yasmin's interview with a Made in the Midlands member as well. So thanks everyone for joining in. Thank you for the interview as well, Kieran.
No problem. Thank you.